Hello, MLB Showdown community. I'm the guru, Colby Talathis, and this is our team builder segment. Usually I have one of our pros on here to help discuss some theory with me, but today I'm just going to be doing primarily stats, and I'm just going to use the numbers and myself today. So bear with me. All the notes will be down below because it is going to be difficult to follow with all the numbers and whatnot. But I think you guys are a sharp group and you'll be able to handle it. Today we're going to be talking about one of my created statistics, and that is the power factor. This is going to be manipulated in this sense for more of a league setting. In short, the power factor is the ability to create home runs in addition to probability. All of our factors are used to show creation in addition to probability. This is your ability to get the advantage as an offensive player and then create on your own chart. So for this, we're going to be looking at power. This is the ability to create home runs over an extended period of time for a league. For this fictitious league, I'm going to say 500 at-bats is going to be what every player gets so that it's fair and universal. And for the sake of picking a pitcher's control, we used a weighted average based on all the starting pitchers selected in our 10-man online league. By doing this, we ended up getting a number and using the most average pitcher in accordance to that that we could use. We factored it all in, and that yielded us with these numbers. So we are looking here to say who can create the most home runs. Not because runs from home runs count more, but the style points are there, and we all know that I love home runs. This is not a direct proportion to winning. We'll have some stats that are probably a little bit more in correlation with that here in the coming weeks. The next 2 weeks after this, we'll actually have some stats that are a little bit more telling for success as a team. But as far as who's the most successful for a fun home run hitting team, we will give you guys what the math shows us to be the most accurate representation of that. I picked 10 first basemen for this because first base is obviously a very offensive category for a lot of us. We don't worry a lot about the defense because it's so minimally impacted. So we picked 10 first basemen. We'll be using them all 3 weeks. And starting with number 10 for the least powerful player amongst who I deem draftable first baseman was Todd Helton. Should be no surprise. He's a 10 on base with a 20 homer. Over 500 at bats, he's going to average just under 8 home runs per 500 at bats or per season. You know, this is not anything to be alarmed about. He's not a home run hitter. You're not paying him to hit home runs. His card is still good. He is just not a good home run hitter. So the next tier when we jump up is these guys who have twice as many home runs on their chart for the same on base. It's Votto and Gonzalez, both 10s, both 19 to 20s. And as you would expect, they average just about double, 15.9 with some change. Both these guys are gonna get you just about 16 home runs per 500 at bat season. This is good. The 500 number comes at just roughly a little bit under 4 at bats per 36 full series. So for us, that would be, they'd probably end up with a full 16. Nothing major, no big problems there. They're going to hit a home run a little bit close to every other series. This was an odd surprise for me. The person who came in 7th in the league, was Miguel Cabrera. Miguel Cabrera is the first person to come up on that second tier of power that we've talked about. Jose Bautista is, as we've referred to in the past, the top tier of power with that 11, 18 to 20. Miguel Cabrera is a 11, 19 to 20, and he only is going to get about 18.4 home runs per 500 at bats, which is just odd to me. I would have thought it would have been more, but the math isn't bearing with him. That comes partially from the fact that he only has a 10% chance of hitting a home run, even if he got the advantage every single time. Obviously, you won't get the advantage every single time, but it's only a 10% chance. Having such a skewed chart down that much, obviously, he has a lot of other ways to help your team besides hitting home runs, but he doesn't hit that many compared to some of the other guys on the list. A guy who hits 2 more home runs than him is a guy who's got 2 less on base, and that's Carlos Pena. Carlos Pena is a 9, 18 to 20. He loses 2 on base and only gains 1 homer on his chart, but he actually ends up hitting more home runs than Miguel Cabrera. Again, he's not going to get on base as much. I'm not saying he's a better player, but he will get two more home runs over 500 at bats. What that exactly means is 1 home run every 10 series or so. But it's still fun. He will hit more statistically, which is very interesting. We're going to jump up one more notch with this player, Ryan Howard, who is an 817 to 20. Again, we're going to drop it on base and gain a home run on our chart. We actually gain home runs, which is going to be a pattern you'll see developing here. He's going to get close to 22 home runs per 500 at bats, which is just under 2 more home runs than Pena. Again, with the same formula here. So, and these two guys, Howard and Pena, are both actually in the lower power tier than Cabrera. So it's interesting to see them actually jump him with those numbers. So, and now we're going to get up to 4 more players who are in the same tier as Cabrera who hit significantly more home runs. The first one is, as you guys might expect by looking at the patterns developing right now, is Prince Fielder averages about 24 home runs per 500 at bats, which is he's close to full 6 home runs more than Cabrera just by dropping it on base, adding a home run to his chart. Very interesting because Cabrera's 570 points. Again, you're not just paying for the home runs, you're paying for the on base, but you're getting significantly less here. Fielder does a lot of other good things, and Fielder will get spotlighted here, being a very well-rounded card, but he's not the top of the mountain at all. As we go up one more, we go to a 9, 17 to 20 in Albert Pujols. Pujols, again, very well-rounded card with a +1 as speed A, but as far as home runs go, he's not the king of the hill. He has a 17 to 20, which is good, 20% chance of hitting a home run with the advantage with that 9. But he's only going to average about 26.8 home runs per 500 at bats. So he's up there. He's very close. The two guys above him only have about half a home run more, but they do have more. And for us pure power lovers, that is a big deal. We're going to take every half home run we can get and try to take our chances here. And the two kings of the hill are actually Mark Teixeira and Jim Thome. These guys are both 8-16 to 20s with the ability to just absolutely take people deep. They average 27.3 home runs per 500 at bats, which means that they're hitting a home run roughly 2/3 of the series you're playing, which in this set and in these leagues, that's pretty good. If you can get a home run 2/3 of your series from one player, it's going to be hard pressed to hit a home run every single game with anybody in your lineup as a team. So if you can average 1 home run a game, you're hitting very well. These guys are going to be doing that in one game, 2/3 of your series. So all I have to say, statistically, I know a lot of people like on base, they like being in control, but as far as getting big results, it's actually more beneficial, we've seen, to go with the lower on base with the better chart, because Mark Teixeira and Jim Thome have a 25% chance of hitting a home run when they do get the advantage, and statistically that's more important than getting the advantage 5% more to go with a higher on base. So thank you guys, and I hope that helped you out a ton. All the stats will be down below if you don't believe me. Obviously your specific league is going to bear a little bit different numbers out depending on what kind of controls you guys get, but the theory is still out there, and a lot of players who love power, this is just my suggestion, go for the lower on base, higher charts, and take your chances. Hope you guys roll your 20s and do well. Remember to play for the card.